I plan to take the Bayonne flyer to Exchange Place and then later the path to Journal Square. One thing that I mentioned about on Thursday is the fact that there's an advantage with being at an express stop like 22nd Street where I am right now, but the disadvantage is that when you have a skip stop service like the Bayonne flyer, when you're at a local stop, you have to wait even longer for the train. So one thing that I was working on with a project that only Patreon patrons know about is how can we make this skip stop service better and even as reliable as an express service on a line that would consist of 4 tracks. Now, as much as I like taking the Bayonne flyer, one thing that to know is that when you're taking the northbound train especially, you are able to bypass a few of the different stops. Now, one thing that also comes a concern is that if you're at the local stops, between I believe Richard Street and Liberty State Park, you're not able to, you have to wait a little bit longer. At Liberty State Park, you can at least board the Tonelli Avenue bound train and then transfer over to the Hoboken train and stuff. But of course, it leads to a few disadvantages. So one thing I was proposing, and again, I go into more depth and detail with a project that Patreon patrons know about, is the fact that basically, you know how addicted I am now to AI, to communication-based train control, positive train control, and so many other features. But as you can see with some of the switch tracks, it actually makes it possible to potentially have trains be able to, express trains to be able to bypass it a little bit better, but in a way like you would have on a 4-track system, have the express train bypass the local, which is something that has been on my mind for a few years now and everything, because granted, I love taking the Bayonne flyer, but you're just shaving off 3 minutes. When mind you, it could be possible to shave off more, and if you're at a local stop, it could be a little bit better. Now, we just bypassed the Tonelli train, which is right behind us and everything. Now, there's a few factors why passengers here at Liberty State will have to wait a little bit longer. One is the crossing right here, but another factor is making sure that we're able to clear the block, which may take a little bit longer and stuff. Granted, they're implementing CBTC across the Hudson Bergen Light Rail, but it's not standardized yet and stuff. So there's a few contributing factors as to why they have to wait a little bit longer and everything. But okay, at least the sign says it's coming in 1 minute, but it's not always accurate and everything, and that's okay. But you know,
this is Bayonne flyer express service.
I know that. Anyway, like basically just something to help be able to make the light rail a little bit better. I'm not saying that the light rail is not bad. Hudson Bergen Light Rail is like awesome, like chef's kiss, like literally the best thing I've taken from New Jersey Transit, because it's the only thing I've taken from New Jersey Transit, but still, it's nice. Now, one thing that I must say is a disadvantage with installing switches is the fact that, like, let's say you have bricks or grass or even water fountains like in Texas paved on the tracks. Now, in a way that would require a little bit more resources and everything. I mean, in some cases, it is technically possible to have the light rail to be able to come by, like this train. I mean, would it require more time and effort? Absolutely, and everything. But in the way, I believe it will be able to better benefit the ones that have to make stops at local stops and everything. Because the next station that the flyer has to bypass, of course, is Hartsman's Cove. But other than that, like, you know, just ways that the train could be able to improve so that way things can be able to operate a little bit better for everyone, service can be much faster, and who knows, we could probably have express trains go to West Side Avenue and stuff. But that's really what I wanted to address. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments, and again, you want to know more details on what I'm discussing right now, then feel free to become a Patreon member.